Yes. I have a little bit of coughing fit today, and in some ways, I'm laughing at some of the events from yesterday, but then I think there's issues, but I don't know. Yeah, we'll talk about it today on the show. Have a great enjoy the intro. Ha ha. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night. Alrighty then, stop the music. Hi there, guys. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night, on the P. Dog Night channel. It's Thursday, October 24th, 2019, and it is FTG Thursday. Now, I didn't put that in anywhere in the description of today. I didn't mention that, but you who come here on a regular basis know that Thursdays are FTG Thursday. And so when people come in, just remind them, because people are slowly trickling in. But hey, good morning, Rolling Bear, who got here first. You get the bell. Good morning, Richo, Green Badger Outdoors, and the other people who are out there lurking. I know you're here, but, some you gotta, you got things to do. You listen when you can, and you lurk, and you hear what we do. So, how quickly do I get into this today? Because I want people to get here right from the beginning, but you know what? I suppose you could always go back and listen to the replay. Just a couple housekeeping notes. Since you guys are here already, how about right now, where you are, if you're able, if you're not, driving or something, right down below here, there's that little arrow that says share. Or if you're on a phone, you can go up there, hit that share arrow and share this out. Or you can retweet the stream. Now, I did put the stream out here. For some reason, it didn't show the new thumbnail. That's weird. I wonder why that is. Anyway, retweet the stream if you found it on Twitter, which in fact, I'll put that in the chat. There's that. You can click that. You can retweet that. If you're not following me on Twitter already, you can also follow me there. And as we go through the day and through the show, if you like what we're doing, hit the like button. And if you're watching this after the fact, put a comment down below. People are starting to do that on not a regular basis, but a pseudo-regular basis. And then also, if you want to be featured on the show today, you can do that by making a donation through the Streamlabs link down below. Put your message there, and I will read it, because that's what I do. Occasionally I read chats, the chat also. I try to keep up with it, but it's kind of hard, because sometimes I get on a rant, and I just start blabbing away, and I look up, and I'm like, oh my God, there's all this stuff going on here that I'm not even seeing. Good morning, D.I. Freighter. Good morning, Zombie Teddy. Thank you for being here. I am glad you are here. So as you well know, the House of Representatives is it's not formal, but they are having what is known as an impeachment inquiry. Okay? And so when you have an impeachment inquiry, there's going to be hearings. And normally the hearings are done kind of in a public way, because, there's been a formal vote in the House of Representatives, and they do this vote. But they're calling this an impeachment inquiry because they're trying to figure out, what they could impeach the president for. It's not like they have a charge right now. They can go, okay, we have this charge and this is what he did, and so we're going to have an impeachment hearings, and we're going to vote in the House and have official impeachment hearings. No. We're having an impeachment inquiry that is not necessarily official, because like the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, she said we're going to have a formal impeachment inquiry. But the House didn't vote on it. She just said, nope, okay, I agree we should, and since I'm the Speaker of the House, I'm going to have this impeachment inquiry. And then we're going to have hearings. And what's weird is normally an impeachment inquiry would run through the judiciary committee, right? Because that's kind of their function in the House. But Jerry Dadler's kind of nowhere to be found. And so instead we have Adam Schiff running the impeachment inquiry. And Adam Schiff has decided that rather than have, public witnesses, public testimony, and having it out in the open, instead what they're doing is they're having their impeachment inquiry behind closed doors in what is known as a Scif. Now, we'll look up Scif here because I'm going to make sure I say this right. Not Adam Scif. I want Scif. SCIF. All right, so here's a Scif. A Scif is what's called a sensitive compartmented information facility. Now, and what they do in a Scif is a place where you go to see classified information. Okay, so let's just read the definition here. A sensitive compartmented information facility, pronounced Scif, in British and United States military, national security, national defense, and intelligence parlance, is an enclosed area within a building that is used to process sensitive compartmented information, SCI, types of classified information. Meaning it's some of the most top secret information, right? Scifs can either be permanent or temporary, and can be set up in official government buildings, such as the Situation Room in the White House, on board ships, in private residence of officials, or in hotel rooms, and other places of necessity for officials when traveling. Portable Scifs can also be quickly set up when needed during emergency situations. Now, good morning, Cynical Lindsay. Good morning, Chi-Town Jay. Access to Scifs is normally limited to those individuals with appropriate security clearances. Non-cleared personnel in Scifs must be under the constant oversight of cleared personnel, and all classified information and material removed from view in order to prevent unauthorized access. As a part of this process, non-cleared personnel are also typically required to surrender all recording, photographic, and electronic media devices. All of the activity and conversation inside is presumed restricted from public disclosure. Now, that last line is interesting here, because if all activity and conversation inside is presumed restricted from public disclosure, that means these hearings being held in a Scif, the information that they get in these hearings where they're having witnesses come and talk to the committees that are in the Scif, listening to, the testimony, is supposed to be restricted from public disclosure, right? Now, over the past few days, there has been testimony in front of this committee in these Scifs, Ambassador Taylor in particular. But even before the meeting was over, Ambassador Taylor's opening statement was out in the press. CBS News had it, the New York Times had it, several media outlets had it before the hearing was even completed. I was reading on Twitter in real time during his testimony some of his testimony. Now, if people who are authorized to be in the Scif are sending out specific testimony, now notice too, perhaps the Chairman Scif, perhaps he's sending this out. He thinks that's hey RJ, hi MC. Hammer time. Oh, well, goodness gracious. We have a thank you, RJ Bansma, for subscribing. I appreciate you. Welcome to the show, and I'm glad you're here. So, now we'll get into what happened yesterday in a minute, but let's talk back to Taylor's Taylor's testimony. So, even before the committee meeting, hearing, whatever was over, a whole bunch of stuff was leaked to the press. And it's funny because the only parts that were leaked to the press were his opening statement and questions from Democrats. So I think that the House Republicans are getting sick of this because, first of all, this impeachment inquiry is being handled so that only certain information is leaked and not all of it. So, and apparently, because it's in a Scif, legally, the people who are hearing these hearings are restricted from presenting this information. And so the Republicans, there are some Republican committee members, right? And they're asking questions too. But the testimony, the transcript of the testimony is not being given to the public. So whoever's leaking this, probably a Democrat, possibly Adam Schiff himself. I'm getting Schiff and Scif mixed up. I almost said Adam Scif because that's what I called this. So it's very selective leaking. And so let's get into a little bit about what happened yesterday. Okay? And this was dramatic and it was very different. Usually, it's funny because you never really hear about Republicans having, these very public protests about things. The Democrats, I know they had a sit-in in the House of Representatives at some point a while back and they were all mad about something and they had to sit-in. But you know what? Democrats and leftists or whatever have protests all the time. It's in their DNA. Not so much with Republicans. Sometimes you get them, but not in the same scale that you get it from the left. So yesterday, the House Republicans decide, okay, we've had enough, and let's just go ahead and get into the articles here that I'm going through. Hang on a second here. Oh no, it's gone. Here we go. So the Republicans decide that they're going to so-called storm the impeachment hearing. So this is, now again, it's a Breitbart article, but you know how it goes around here. I'm just going to read it because this is their side of the story more than the other side, and that's what I want to get to this point. Republican burn on House storming impeachment hearing. There's more to come. Okay, so what happened? A group of House Republicans made waves Wednesday morning when they successfully shut down a House Intelligence Committee hearing by entering the room where committee members were questioning Laura Cooper, a Defense Department official who apparently was pertinent to the impeachment inquiry into President Donald Trump. One of those members was Representative Bradley Byrne, Republican from Alabama, who reportedly engaged in a back and forth with Democrat members of the committee, including House Intelligence Committee Chairman Representative Adam Schiff and Representative Val Demings, who's a Democrat from Florida, Schiff's from California. During an appearance on Huntsville, Alabama radio, WVNN, the Jeff Poor Show, on Wednesday, Byrne discussed the claim of a yelling match with Scif. He also explained how the situation evolved from a press conference decrying Schiff's handling of the hearing to members entering the hearing room in the basement of the Capitol. According to Byrne, a candidate for the U.S. Senate set up in 2020, or seat up in 2020 in Alabama, this will not be the last the public hears from House Republicans regarding the matter of impeachment. Quote, I want to be careful about what I'm going to say because I don't want to telegraph what we're going to do, Byrne said, but I don't think we've seen the end of this. I think there's more to come, and there needs to be more to come. The process is inappropriate. They should have passed a resolution for the House, which they still haven't done that. That's weird. I haven't quite figured out why they haven't. Well, no, actually, I do know why. I know exactly why. Because if they vote in the House to actually have a formal impeachment inquiry, then I think that it would almost be required that hearing be public, and that both sides would be able to provide witnesses, and I think there's just a larger burden of evenness and questioning, although Republicans have been questioning these witnesses too in these hearings. It's not just Democrats in the hearings, but what's happening is it's not just Republicans in the hearings, but only the Democrats questioning and testimony is leaking to the press. So the press is getting the press gets a narrative, and we'll show you that in a minute. Excuse me. I do have a cough today, so please bear with me. They should have passed a resolution in the House. They should have put the process in the rules of the process. They should have put the process and the rules of the process in it. They should have shown the timeline. They should have said, this is how you get to call witnesses. This is how the president gets to have somebody present and ask his own questions. They didn't want to do that, and now here we are. Today, they have started paying a price they haven't paid before. They need to figure out where they ultimately want to go with this, because I don't think right now they know what their plan is on how to get this to a vote on the floor of the House. So that's his side of it. Also, just let's see. Hang on a second here. Now, the highest minority leader talking about this storming of the hearing. Republican House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said Tuesday that the GOP dismantled a suggestion from. Oh, here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing. The Ukrainian envoy William Taylor had one of these closed doors testimonies, right, to the House Intelligence Committee, and literally, like I said, the testimony wasn't even over, and it's supposedly a Scif where, what's the words I used here? The words they use on a Scif. All of the activity and conversation inside is presumed restricted from public discourse. And yet, before the hearing was even over, his opening statement, which is devastating. I mean, and every single media outlet used the same word, devastating. Remember how all the media was using the walls are closing in? Well, on this one, everyone said the opening statement was devastating. Okay, and that was the part that was leaked to the press, right? So his opening statement was, this devastating opening statement was leaked to the press, right? All right, well, Republican House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said Tuesday that the GOP dismantled a suggestion from Ukrainian envoy William Taylor during his closed-doors testimony to the House Intelligence Committee that President Donald Trump had tied aid to Ukraine to an investigation into former Vice President Joe Biden. In 90 seconds, we had Republican Texas Representative John Radcliffe destroy Taylor's whole argument, McCarthy told Fox News' Laura Ingraham on the Ingraham Angle. Numerous media reports suggested Taylor's testimony was devastating and provided ammunition for the impeachment inquiry. However, McCarthy claimed those reports are based on leaks coming from the committee chairman, Democratic California Representative Adam Schiff, and do not reflect Ratcliffe's effort to disprove Taylor's testimony. Yeah, what was that? What was that again? All activity and conversation inside the presumed restricted is or inside is presumed restricted from public disclosure unless the people who are running the committee leak it, right? All right. The House Minority Leader told Ingram that he cannot get into specifics about the questioning because of the veil of secrecy that Scif has placed over the impeachment inquiry. Adam Schiff won't let us talk about what happened, even though Adam Schiff is leaking what he wants to leak to the press, the one side of the story. Adam Schiff won't let us talk about what happened. He said in reference to the closed door session, there is no quid pro quo. And that's the other one. If I heard inquire, what was the two words I heard the most yesterday were devastating and quid pro quo. Now, I very well could have been devastating, but how are we in the public going to know if we only hear the peoples who want the impeachment, if we only hear their side? Huh? Anybody? Ratcliffe told Fox News after listening to Taylor that the envoy brought up some interesting information but said nothing worthy of impeachment. McCarthy also said that the GOP members of the Intelligence Committee are being treated like children by Scif's people. What happened in the Intel Committee? Even the members cannot read any information unless one of Adam Schiff's own staffers are in the room next to them. Good Lord. McCarthy noted that the impeachment inquiry continues to be based on the testimony of people who have no primary information of any alleged misconduct on behalf of the president. One thing that you'll find out in the process is all the information is just like that whistleblower. Everything is second, third, and fourth-hand information. They go out to the press and say Taylor is terrible and Adam Schiff won't let us talk about what happened. They go out in the press and say Taylor is terrible and Adam Schiff won't let us talk about what happened. In 90 seconds, we had John Ratcliffe destroy his whole argument. We are finding just his questioning refuted everything what Adam Schiff leaves out there. There is no quid pro quo. And there's Mr. What do they call him? What's his nick? What are the right guy? The right guys call him Pencil Neck or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. The congressman said Schiff has turned the impeachment inquiry into a secretive process that relies on selective leaks to the media to promote his work. What they're doing is they're changing every rule we ever had, he said. Republican South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham will introduce a resolution this week to condemn the impeachment inquiry as illegitimate, arguing that it is denying Trump his essential legal rights and should be ignored by the Senate. Here's my take on it, though. So even if these committees decide whatever they're deciding in the informal impeachment inquiry, they're still going to have to bring it in front of the full House, right? And then see what's happened is they're already poisoning the well with the selective leaks. So it's kind of like, you guys are just it just looks dirty. And I don't mean the good kind of dirty, because there's, dirty, you know what I mean? Anyway, it just looks dirty, let's have these closed door hearings, Do you remember? No, well, you wouldn't remember. I barely remember. I was only like 5 years old. Like back when Nixon, when they were talking about having this formal impeachment thing, or they were having the choir, all the hearings were public. Every single one was out there. Now, granted, Democrats controlled everything except the presidency back then. They did for 40 years. The House and Senate had been Democrat forever. But every single hearing was public, okay? And here's part of the problem. And I think I know why Adam Schiff is having these sessions privately. Because the Republicans are pretty good at asking questions too. And so, I think what he's trying to do, if you only get your side out there, that's what everyone believes. Okay? And even the newspapers and media that it favors Democrats, which I know that's fairly redundant, except for in a few cases. Even those outlets have to, when the hearings are public and both the Democrats and the Republicans ask questions, those news outlets pretty much, not necessarily by law, but by ethics, have to show how both sides question the witnesses. Okay, they have to at least show some of the questioning by both, so you get a little bit of both sides, even if they're all sycophants for the Democrats. When you have a hidden impeachment inquiry in Scifs where supposedly, what's those words again? Supposedly all the activity and conversation inside is presumed restricted from public discourse, then you can make up rules where no one can say anything that's happened there. Oh, but the chairman could leak the opening statement to every single news outlet had Taylor's opening statement before the hearing was over. And all of the talking points from the Democrats from their questioning, it was almost in real time that you were hearing about this hearing. I was watching people on Twitter talk about it. Some, like the Oliver Willis, who's the, big time Democrat, cheerleader, was talking about what was going on in the hearing. The hearing's still going on in a Scif, but we knew every little Democratic talking point coming out of it already, right? So how can that happen? So yesterday, when the Republicans, I found this hilarious. In fact, let's go into Twitter. I'm gonna go. Let's go SCIF, which was a big topic yesterday. We'll just go on here. Let's just scroll through this on Twitter a little bit. Okay, now we got. Remember the time Democrats occupied the Capitol for a stunt on gun control and the media couldn't stop drooling? And remember the time the Republicans occupied a Scif room for a stunt on impeachment and the media couldn't stop screaming bloody murder? So much journalism, okay? Here's Oliver Willis. White House press secretary says Trump loved the Scif temper tantrum from yesterday, has demonstrated loyalty to him. Okay, great, whatever. Here's the thing. Good, Ted Lieu. See, yesterday, on Twitter, we're finding out all this information on Scif. So how, oh my God, it's restricted access. Here we go. Ted Lieu, everyone's favorite congressman from California. You had a number of Republican members who were not on the committee jurisdiction trying to get into a Scif area. They also brought in their cell phones, which is a violation. They violated House rules by trying to crash committees which they do not sit on. Huh, okay. Fox and Friends make one quick mention of Andy Mooney compromising the security of the Scif with an unsecured cell phone. You could almost would know that this show once spent months haranguing another official over careless device use. Hey, guess what? I'm glad you brought that up. Because everyone's talking about Scifs, right? The bottom line is a Scif is a Scif. This is all classified information. We should keep it all classified except for the stuff that was already leaked to the press during the testimonies. And I do think in this impeachment inquiry, they really should bring that out in the open. But it's there. It's a political decision that they make. NBC News. See, here's the thing. So NBC News writes this article: Republicans are running out of ways to defend Trump. And I'm not defending Trump. I don't care. talking about, okay, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, what's worse, since many of the flash mob already sat on the committees, they knew how serious a breach it was to bring devices into Scif and didn't anyways. Everyone's talking about how, you can't bring devices into Scifs, and they're just having a meeting. Here's how Scifs work, okay? It's this secured room, right? And there's usually security around it and blah, 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 blah. And it's for viewing very super sensitive classified information, right? And so it's brought in under guard, and usually you bring the information in there, and you can't bring a camera, you can't take pictures, you don't get copies, you get nothing. So in this, for example, these hearings, the transcripts, they can't. We don't even know if they're going to keep the transcripts. They're the recordings of these meetings, right? It's all going to be by what people say, and you're restricted from saying anything about them. Well, what happens with Scifs, you bring in the classified information. The people who are authorized to view it are allowed in with no way to record what they're seeing. They go see it, and then they make decisions based on what that classified information is. Now, and so all the Democrats and left people are complaining that, they had cameras in a Scif. Well, there wasn't any sensitive classified information. Granted, they broke that rule. I'm not saying they didn't break the rule. They absolutely broke the rule, and they should be, whatever the appropriate punishment is, censure, whatever, go for it. Do it, right? They broke a rule, and I think Scifs are there for a reason. Adam Schiff is holding these meetings in a Scif for a reason. Because they get to control all the information coming out of the hearings. Okay? And that is why it's in a Scif. But all these people butthurt about Scifs. Let's go through some of these. I know there's some. Democrat Tom Malinowski earlier today describing the scene in a Scif. A bunch of Freedom Caucus members having pizza around the conference table pretending to be brave. Okay, whatever. Judge Knapp just spelled out the House rules right where Trump can see them. The impeachment inquiry is following the 2015 House rules implemented by Republican Speaker Bonner. Sorry, Scif busters, your rules just right. I'm not sure Napolitano's correct about that. What were they hiding in the Scif? Okay, so some people are complaining. Republicans stormed the Scif, found 47 Republicans that were already in there. I want to find someone who's mad about it. Brooklyn Dad, my favorite Twitter user who's always in these hashtags. I have zero doubt that Trump was behind the Republican illegal bum rush of the Scif yesterday. It's funny. Everyone knows what a Scif now is, right? That's my point, okay? All these people are bitching about Scifs, okay? Everyone knows what a Scif is now, right? Very pissed off because you're endangering national security by mishandling classified information. Okay? Let me think about that for a second, because suddenly all these Democrats are, crying crocodile tears because, oh my God, these people are in a Scif where classified information is held. Really? Someone mentioned devices too, right? Because I seem to remember not that long ago, there was some classified. Now, I know I'm going to I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you when I get done with what I'm saying now, I'm going to give you what the typical response to this is going to be. And of course, I just whatever. But I don't care. Not that long ago, there was let's just say a gentleman who was convicted as a sexual predator, sexual offender, sex crime, right? He's a what's the word? Convicted sexual predator, convicted of, in fact, not just a run-of-the-mill sex offender. He was convicted as a sex offender where the victim was underage. Right? This guy, he was convicted of a sexual crime, went to prison because he was kind of whatever doing all this shit with an underage girl over the internet, right? His laptop, besides containing whatever shit he was doing with, showing dick pics and whatever to an underage girl, also had classified information from the source of which was the Secretary of State of the United States. On his unsecured laptop in his apartment. And nobody seems to think that that's all that important. Particularly not the Democrats. Not the former Attorney General of the United States. And on a convicted pedophile's laptop, classified information, the source of which was the Secretary of the United States, the former Secretary of State of the United States, because the convicted pedophile sex offender was married to the Secretary of State's assistant, longtime personal assistant. So I told you I would tell you what the response to what I just said is going to be. Here, let me get I'm going to give you that little smug, but her emails. Like that's an answer. Really? Because you're really concerned about this Scif all of a sudden. All you people bitching about this Scif. Convicted pedophile sex offender's laptop contained classified information of which the source was the Secretary of State of the United States. Bueller? Oh, and the director of the FBI said, no one would ever do anything about that. That's whatever. Yes, we found the classified information on the former congressman's. Oh, did I mention he was a former congressman? Yes, Anthony Weiner. Yes, we found classified information on the former congressman's laptop. And yes, there was classified information on the unsecured server of the former Secretary of State. But, nobody would prosecute that. Nobody would ever prosecute that. Hey, you know what? Did anyone watch that? Anyone watch the interview? Joe Rogan had Edward Snowden as an interview. Now, I watched about 25 minutes of that interview. Mainly, he was talking about cell phone security, and I caught about 25 minutes, which was, I don't know if I can get through that whole 2.5 hours of that, because that 25 minutes was just sleep-inducing. Although it was also very mind-opening, right? You know why Edward Snowden got in trouble, right? Edward Snowden was mishandling classified information. Yeah, remember him? Oh, remember Bradley Manning? She's Chelsea Manning now, but at the time, way back when it was, anyway, Manning. Manning? What did Manning go to prison for? Huh. Something about classified information. Yeah. Jeffrey Sterling. Do you know who that is? Jeffrey Sterling. He was trying to be a whistleblower, right? He was trying to be a whistleblower. And then what they did is in his trial, he ended up going to prison because in his trial, he mishandled classified information. Now, what the funny thing is, though, the classified information that he mishandled wasn't classified when he handled it. It was retroactively classified. And he got put in prison. But no one's ever going to prosecute. No one would prosecute that. There was no intent. Oh, there was no intent. Oh, yes, no intent. Okay. What was the dude up in Connecticut? He, little Navy dude, and he did some pictures, just pictures of himself by a nuclear submarine. Yeah, he went to prison for a year. What was his intent? Well, he was just taking pictures for his family. He wasn't intending to mishandle classified information, yet he went to prison for a year. But no. That the classified information on the laptop of the convicted pedophile sex offender that originated from the Secretary of State, and the classified information now. And remember this? State Department just now, they finally got their review, right? The State Department finally gets their review of the time when the former Secretary of State that we're not mentioning by name because I don't want to hear that butter emails, of the time when she was in there, and they've found 600 violations that involved at least 35 people in the State Department. Some of it prosecutable. Don't know what they're going to do with that. But wow, 600 instances. But no one would ever prosecute that. There's people in jail for things like that. So this thing with the Scif, and everyone know, the good thing is people know what a Scif is now, because some of the information that they found on the convicted pedophile sex offender's laptop and the server in the basement of the former Secretary of State, some of that information came from a Scif. A Scif. Oh my gosh! And they're very upset about Scifs now. Well, now that we know what a Scif is, and because a lot of people Scifs, JWICs, and all those things, right? They're just different places where classified information are held. Government secured places. Yeah. Yes, I know Edward Snowden gave up classified information to who he gave it to. Whatever, but that's it. You know who else gave away classified information to communists? The former Secretary of State of the United States. You don't think the Chinese didn't hack her server? You don't think the Russians... if the Russians were smart enough to hack the DNC to find out that Bernie Sanders was being cheated, do you think for 1 second that they didn't find a way to hack an unsecured server sitting in someone's basement? Huh? Yeah. And in fact, there was, if you had been following along at the time, there was some evidence that the Chinese did hack that server. They mentioned it a couple times, but you haven't heard about it since. Speaking, anyone know what's going on with Jeffrey Epstein? Where that came out of my head, I don't know. But have you heard of him lately? Anyone heard his name even? Boy, they buried that shit quick, didn't they? Oh, that was kind of a double entendre. Oh my god. Anyway. I don't and y'all, I don't think of Snowden as a hero either. But that is, it's a different situation. But I don't know. His interview was interesting about how they gather data on everybody now, and the whole unmasking thing. But yeah, so this Scif business with Adam Schiff for brains, it's fascinating. I don't know. I just, by the way, thank you, Tyler F. and the others who, G Prime and Chi-Town J, for retweeting the show out this morning. I really appreciate that. That helps me a lot. Okay, so anyway, hey, while you're thinking about it, and while I'm thinking about it, I just looked up and saw there's quite a few viewers. Hit the like button if you like what we're doing on the Morning Night Live. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. Also, if you think about it, right down there below, there's that share arrow. Hit the share arrow and share the stream out on days when you see it, or if you see the tweet. Hey, also over here, right down there, if you're not following me on Twitter, please do, at PDogNight. If you ever want story suggestions, or if you ever want to send me story suggestions, or you can send them there through my DMs. My DMs are open. Or if you're not on Twitter, you can email them to me, pdognight@gmail.com. And then also the super chats are open down in the below. It's a super chat link, but it's also a donation link. If you ever want to do that kind of stuff, I appreciate that stuff. I say it in a passive way, but it does help. But I don't want you to think that it's required. But I just want to let you know that if you'd like to support us financially for what we do on the show, I appreciate that, the people who are able to do that. And that link is down below under the Streamlabs link is where you can do it. Eventually I will have the credit card link work better, but it doesn't work right now for some reason. So the Streamlabs goes through PayPal. I might throw a Venmo or something up there too, or Zelle someday. I'm working that out in my head on if I want to do that or not. And I thought of the Patreon thing too. We'll see. My goal is, even when I get to 1,000 subscribers, I don't want to rely on YouTube for anything. But the only reason I would monetize is to make the super chat link easier. I know a lot of people prefer to use super chats to Streamlabs for whatever reasons, and that's fine. When I get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll have that discussion internally in the luxurious Lucky Dog Studios here. So, all right. Let's move on, because that's not the only thing I want to talk about today. I'm sorry. There is one more article though, because this whistleblower thing too. The Republicans are not really happy about this whole whistleblower crap, because first of all, the original whistleblower, as we're finding out, may have broken some laws by consulting with Adam Schiff prior to putting out his whistleblowing, letter. And so a lot of people think perhaps that letter was written by or with the help of Adam Schiff. And also, the whistleblower just happens to be someone who worked for Joe Biden and is a very partisan Democrat. And, people in those places, in the CIA and the FBI, they have their own partisan proclivities, which is fine, but you know what? It should be disclosed, and you should know that. And so apparently, this whistleblower is, I don't know. Republicans call out Schiff for flip-flopping on whistleblower testimony. So here's an article from the Daily Caller. They're right of the aisle publication. The top Republicans on 3 congressional committees leading an impeachment inquiry of President Donald Trump called out Representative Adam Schiff. So I just heard the bell. You don't hear it in real time, but Duck Dog donated $6.66. With the big fat dislike. Yes, you can hit the dislike button too. That's that. If there is one dislike on my streams, that is from Duck Dog, because that is how Duck Dog shows his love and appreciation for what I do here. So there you go. All right, back. Thank you so much for the $6.66. I appreciate you. Back to this. Okay, so the top Republicans on 3 congressional committees leading an impeachment inquiry of President Donald Trump called out Representative Adam Schiff Wednesday for reversing course on calling a CIA whistleblower to testify before Congress, according to a letter the Daily Caller News Foundation obtained. The Republican also asked Schiff to arrange public testimony from the whistleblower and any other individuals he relied on as part of an August 12th complaint filed with the Intelligence Community Inspector General regarding Trump's actions towards Ukraine. We are surprised by your announcement that the committees will not receive testimony from the anonymous intelligence community employee whose complaint initiated the so-called impeachment inquiry, wrote Representatives Jim Jordan of Ohio, Devin Nunes of California, and Michael McCall of Texas in a letter to Schiff, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. They noted that before the House Intelligence Committee released the whistleblower complaint on September 26, Schiff had committed to very soon, quote unquote, calling the whistleblower to provide unfiltered testimony, meaning that the Republicans could ask questions too. The Republicans said that Schiff, a California Democrat, reversed course following revelations that the employee had a bias against President Donald Trump, and that you received a secret early account of the allegations. And, on that form, the whistleblower never mentioned that. And that's punishable. That's punishable. I can't remember what the punishment could be. The whistleblower, an unidentified CIA analyst, probably loyal to John Brennan, met with a staffer working for Schiff prior to filing his complaint with the ICIG, the New York Times reported on October 2nd. The other thing about this? So this whistleblower, here's the thing. This whole thing, they talk about the deep state, right? The deep state, right? A lot of these civil employees, I think they have the idea that because they're veterans and they're around, some of these guys are around 30, 40 years in the intelligence community, right? They see presidents and Congress people, whatever, come and go. So they get this kind of thing where, hey, honestly, yes, the president's a really important person, and some of these Congress people, a lot of the Congress people around there 30, 40 years too. But most of them can just, if they don't agree with a particular president they're serving under, they can wait them out. They can just wait till someone they agree comes in, and then they can just like, for example, let's talk about FOIA requests, okay? There are a lot of times when there are organizations who are prolific in asking for FOIA requests. For example, Judicial Watch is one of those organizations. They're a right-wing group that is dedicated to holding government accountable to whatever the things they are. They make tons of FOIA requests. And a FOIA request, generally, you think, okay, they should be able to process these FOIA requests in a reasonable amount of time. Well, a lot of these civil servants who are in the business for 30, 40 years, when they get a FOIA request they don't like, or they don't really want, it's the Freedom of Information Act, that's what I mean by FOIA. If they get it when they don't want, or don't like, or they don't really, this might look bad for us. What they do is they take their time and maybe, for example, I know that Judicial Watch had this request for documents, and it would be like 900 pages of something, right? Or 9,000 pages of something. Maybe it was 9,000, whatever. And the agency that they were asking for the information from was giving them like 30 pages a month, saying, oh, no, we need to have someone review each page and make sure that there are redactions of any particular possible classified information, blah, 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 blah. And so they'll do this over a period of years. And recently, Judicial Watch won a suit against one of these agencies that said, no, the judge said, you know what? Why are y'all screwing around? This is a reasonable FOIA request. You should be able to get out the documents within this amount of time. Okay, you get 90 days to get it all out. Something that they were slow walking out. By the time they got all the information, there could be a whole new president by that time, right? Instead of the information they wanted now. So, and same with this whistleblower. This whistleblower has probably been around in the CIA for 30 years, probably loyal. Obviously, he's an anti-Trump person, according to the reports, or I shouldn't say anti-Trump, has a bias against President Donald Trump, worked under Joe Biden, whatever. Well, this whistleblower can just, throw the shit out there, right? And if they can't be cross-examined, then you only get the information that Scif wants to get out there. And in this case, the whistleblower, thank you, D.I. Frater, we'll see you later. Or you'll hear me, but you just won't see me. Okay. So this whistleblower who's, a Joe Biden supporter and filing complaints, if they don't have to publicly testify, and met with Scif beforehand, who apparently, in theory, I'm just going to say that, helped them put this whistleblower report out there. Now you're only getting that side of it. If there's no public testimony, no cross-examination, no other questions, you only get that side of it. And so that's what the Republicans are asking for. They and granted, the Republican, the Freedom Caucus, so to speak, clearly, wants to be able to ask their questions, cross-examine, and probably refute some of the things they say. But that's how it's supposed to work, right? So anyway, Scif's aide directed the CIA analyst to file a complaint with the ICIG and also briefed Scif on the encounter. So Scif indicated prior to the release of the complaint that he was unaware of the subject matter. Oh, I'm sure you were unaware of the subject matter, sir. He also failed to disclose that someone in his office had met the whistleblower. Scif said on October 13th that the whistleblower no longer needs to testify because witnesses and a transcript of Trump's phone call with Ukraine's president validated the complaint. Did it now? Okay. That series of events and Scif's secrecy have led Trump and other Republicans to allege that the complaint is part of a politically motivated witch hunt. As the so-called impeachment inquiry gathers information that contradicts the employee's allegations, we ask that you arrange for the committees to receive public testimony from the employee and all individuals he or she relied upon in formulating the complaint, the Republicans said in their letter to Scif. The complaint centers on Trump's actions towards Ukraine and focuses on a July 25th phone call that Trump had with the Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. Scif and the chairman of the other Democratic committees leading the impeachment inquiry have called a series of witnesses, mostly from the State Department, to testify behind closed doors. Oh, what's that song? That old Charlie Rich song. Hair hang down, and it makes me feel like I'm a man, 'cause no one knows but goes on behind closed doors. Yeah, if you remember that song, you're fucking old because that was on my parents' radio when I was growing up, and that was an old song even then. Anyway, Scif and the chairman of the other Democratic committees leading the impeachment inquiry have called a series of witnesses, mostly from State Department, to testify behind closed doors about the administration's Ukraine-related activities. So there you go. That's a Chuck Ross report off the Daily Caller. Yippity skippity doo-day, whatever I just said there. All right. So I thought I was going to be able to get to a whole bunch of other stuff today, but it's not looking like it. Let's see. Let me just pick and choose real quick. Oh. You know, when the people on the left side of the spectrum, they love to talk about political violence and how violent everybody is. And I just thought this story kind of made me chuckle a little bit. And granted, it's Breitbart, but you know what? It is something that she said. Bette Midler. Now, I could care less about celebrities, honestly, but I found humor in this. Bette Midler said, quote, or we should be, quote, more grateful for the neighbor who beat the shit out of Rand Paul. Oh, left-wing actress and singer Bette Midler on Wednesday lashed out at Senator Rand Paul, Kentucky, over his criticism of the Kurds by lauding his neighbor who brutally beat the senator, breaking several of his ribs in his Kentucky yard in 2017. Quote, I do not promote violence, but, well, let's just disregard everything you just said then. Rand Paul says the Kurds are being ingrates for taking their frustrations out on U.S. troops, which is a good reminder for all of us to be more grateful for the neighbor who beat the shit out of Rand Paul. Oh, my God. Oh, that was a tweet, apparently. Earlier Wednesday, Paul appeared on ABC News' Powerhouse Politics podcast and said the Kurds are acting like ingrates toward U.S. troops, withdrawing from the northern Syria by throwing potatoes at them. You know, come on, Ray. Just let it go. I don't want him saying that either. I understand why they might be mad at us for leaving, but apparently there's a full-time ceasefire. But I'm just laughing at the fact that the tolerant left, not at all violent or not at all promoting violence. I'm sorry, there was the article that you should have seen while I was talking. Never promote violence are just they love their violence. I got to be honest, they love them some violence. So way to go, Bette Midler. Way to go for exposing what it's really like. What else we got? Let me see if I can do one more before Twitter trends. I had a whole bunch of these. Oh, you hear about Katie Hill? She's the threesome chick. Apparently, ethics committee are going to investigate whether Democrat Katie Cheap Thrill Hill had an inappropriate sexual relationship with a staffer. Yeah, they got a staffer involved in that, but I forget that. Oh, and the Democrats. Oh, this one's curious. Okay, now I'm now a fan of Mark Zuckerberg. By any stretch of the imagination, but this was kind of weird. This particular line of questioning, because they had him on Capitol Hill yesterday and talking. See, the Democrats are mad because Facebook's allowing Facebook ads by the president, which they say are false, and they're not going to fact check political ads, and yet. So the president had an ad that there was going to be on Facebook, and some of the news outlets rejected it, but Facebook took it, right? And then they're having a hearing on Capitol Hill on why that is, and AOC actually, it was probably the most coherent questioning I've ever heard from AOC. But this particular, and I don't know, I can't stand. I have no one to root for in this fight at all. Melissa, oh. Do you need to check out Melissa Milano's tweets from last night? She ignores somebody who nobody would expect her who have endorsed. Okay, send me a link, Picala, if you know where that is. Democrats attack Mark Zuckerberg for ruined lives of African Americans. This line of questioning, listen, we'll just play it. We'll just play the questioning here.
The other was around setting up a civil rights task force.
And who's on the civil rights task force?
Sheryl Sandberg is the person she's...
What's civil rights? Okay, we know Cheryl's not really civil rights, so I'm trying to help you here.
Oh, are you? What are you trying to... What are you implying here? Anyway, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. This line of questioning is kind of crazy. And Libra is this thing about... Libra is this cryptocurrency that they're trying to launch, but anyway... Okay, listen to this.
She's your COO, and I don't think there's anything, and I know Cheryl well, about civil rights in her background. So come better than that for me. Okay, if we're going to talk civil rights.
I'm not sure that...
It's an internal task force.
Do you know who the firm that you employ for civil rights is?
Congressman, I don't know.
How could you not know when you have employed the most historical, the largest civil rights firm to deal with issues that are major? And this is what's so frustrating to me. It's almost like you think this is a joke when you have ruined the lives of many people, discriminated against.
What? You have ruined the lives of who?
Issues that are major. And this is what's so frustrating to me. It's almost like you think this is a joke when you have ruined the lives of many people, discriminated against them. Do you know
who they discriminate against on Facebook? Okay, okay.
What percentage of African Americans are on Facebook?
All of us. Good Lord. I'm just going by my own personal Facebook feed. Though, come on now. How do you think we do Flanders Castile got shot? Because his girlfriend was broadcasting her little thing on Facebook Live. Black people are all over Facebook. What are you talking about?
In comparison to majority folks, do you know what the percent?
You know what? And in comparison to majority folks, who cares? You know, Representative Beatty. Facebook has people from all over the world on it. What do you get? I don't understand what you're getting at. What? Are you saying that black people are discriminated from being on Facebook? How?
Percentages are?
People using the Facebook.
Yes. Do you know what the percentages are for African Americans?
I hope you got a point here.
I don't, because we don't collect the races of people.
Well, it came out in a report and in the Pew Research Center that was sent to you.
Okay,
so maybe you just don't read a lot of things that deal with civil rights or.
Facebook is not a platform. Is not a civil rights platform. However, if there are black people who want to set up pages dedicated to civil rights, Facebook is an open platform. You don't have to apply for it. You don't have to ask anybody's permission for it. You just set up the page, right? And I'm pretty sure the Southern Poverty Law Center has a Facebook page. Pretty sure the ADL has a Facebook page. Hell, I bet even the Black Panther Party has a Facebook page. That is my guess. So I don't understand this line of questioning. What is she getting at?
African Americans. I have a lot of questions I'm going to send to you that I'm not going to be able to get to.
I wish she'd make these questions public, because I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. I just don't know. So a congressional hearing meant to discuss Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg's plan for Libra, a digital currency. Two Democratic Congress members attacked Zuckerberg for Facebook's alleged racism. Good Lord. In fact, you know what? because I went to a inner city high school, and all my friends, like we have a class of like 400 some. What was my class? Oh no, my graduating class was 525 people. About 30% African American, right? Black people, right? And when I go on Facebook, my high school friends on Facebook is probably because I got a lot of. That's how I keep in touch with my high school friends. That's how, because we all do my class from way back when. Our class reunions have always been not always, since not the first one. Was the first one? No, actually, even my 20th year reunion. Facebook's been around a long time, hasn't it? My 20th year reunion, we organized it on Facebook. We organized my 30th year reunion on Facebook. Okay? And via emails. No, the first one was emails, and then the next one was Facebook, okay? Pretty much all those people that I went to high school, like my black friends are all there. They are all there. So I'm not sure what her point was. Joyce Beatty, Ohio, claims Zuckerberg and Facebook have ruined the lives of many African American. How? By them being addicted to it and going on Facebook Live too much? How has Facebook ruined the lives of many African Americans? I have no idea. Oh, I know what it is. Facebook allowed Trump to get elected, and that ruined the lives of many. I don't know what the fuck she's talking about. You have ruined when you have ruined the lives of many people, discriminated against them. How? Does it have when you sign up? Now when I signed up for Facebook, they didn't have this. Maybe they do now. Maybe they have a little place when you sign up for Facebook. They have a place that says you have to check a little box. Hey, are you African American? If you check that box, all of a sudden your computer just dies. Is that how? I have no idea what the hell she's talking about. And in another face-off, Representative Al Green of Texas pressed the CEO about the minority representation in Libra products. I'll just read this instead of listening to him. Of the 21 Libra associations, how many are headed by women? Green asked. Oh, we got to do some intersectional checkbox on the companies you work with. Congressman, I don't know the answer off the top of my head, but I can get that for you. Zuckerberg said, well, I believe you can get it, Mr. Zuckerberg, but one would assume that you would know who the heads of these corporations that are going to be running this global company. How many of them are minorities, Mr. Zuckerberg? Green asked. Zuckerberg responded in the same manner as before, saying he does not know the figure off the top of his head. Are there any members of the LGBTQ community associated with this association, Mr. Zuckerberg? Now, look what they're talking about. They're talking about putting together a cryptocurrency through Facebook, right? What the actual F does this have to do with anything on setting this up? Okay, do you have to go out and find? I know what they're trying to do. Maybe they're trying to get Maxine Waters' husband involved because he's a black banker and they own a bank. Is that what we're doing? I don't know. Who are there any members of the LGBTQ community associated with this association? How do I know? We haven't gone out and surveyed their employees. I'm assuming that 3% of their employees are gay or LGBTQ, but I don't know. Is there some a special LinkedIn page where you can look up LGBTQ cryptocurrency experts? I don't think so. What a dumbass question. Oh man. And you know what? Okay. Are any of the people who are minorities? Don't know. And we're not setting up a minority foundation. We're setting up some experts in cryptocurrency. So that's what we need. If some of them happen to be black, hey, more power to them. But I ain't going to spend all my time going around looking specifically for minority cryptocurrency experts. If they're an expert in their field, that's who I got. Oh Lord, Here's Al Green.
Well, thank the witness for
I'm
being
not
here
going to waste 2
today.
minutes on this. You get the idea. Hey, Dino, how you doing? Hi, Piccolo. You were here before. Okay, Piccolo, you Twitter. Okay, DMs. Thank you. Good God. And what did Dingbat say? Thank you, Piccolo, for sending me this. Here, there's my DM. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, if you didn't know, Alyssa Milano met with Ted Cruz a while back. They had a nice little discussion on gun control, and they ended up agreeing to disagree, but they had just a kind conversation, right? And so Alyssa Milano, trying to be, do a little suggestive selling, says we are in need of a GOP hero. Ted Cruz, my money is on you. Will you stand up to this dangerous president to protect our democracy and fulfill your oath of the Constitution? Bitch, please. Protect our democracy. You know what? Here's the thing. Because I see a lot of this all the time when people say, oh, Donald Trump's just like a dictator, authoritarian. He's just like Putin and Pol Pot and the Chinese and the, what's his face in Korea, North Korea, Kim Jong-un. And he's a dictator, right? Authoritarian dictator. Give me an example. Well, well, he moved some money for the Pentagon for the wall. Yeah, that's constitutionally, he got allowed by the Supreme Court. Had to be approved by the Supreme Court. So clearly he didn't dictate that. Give me another example. Well, has he passed any laws without Congress passing them? Well, no. Has he put any journalists in jail? No. Have people been disappearing that oppose him? No. Shut the hell up then. Okay, so then some guys, Danny Files, your money's on Ted Cruz, really? The man has said not done or said a single thing. Okay, I think he meant said not a single thing that would lead anyone to believe he's on the side of good. Listen, Milano, shh. I'm trying what I try with my kids when I want them to do something. Kiss my ass, Alyssa Milano. You're dumber than a box of rocks. Thank you, Pincalo, for setting that, although it kind of hurts my brain now. Hey, let's get into Twitter trends before I run out of time here, in which I'm already out of time, basically. But anyway, that's okay. Oh, Spain removes former dictator Francisco Franco's remains from a mausoleum. Wow, what is that about? The remains of former Spanish dictator General Francisco Franco are being removed from a mausoleum, the Valley of the Fallen, to a discreet grave. Franco died in 1975. You know, that was... if you were around in the 70s, that was a running gag. On Weekend Update, Chevy Chase was the anchor of Weekend Update, and that was a running gag because Francisco Franco died in 1975, and so he would start like half the newscast with the phrase, welcome to Weekend Update, Francisco Franco is still dead. Well, he's still dead, but now they're removing him from the mausoleum. Spain is preparing for a historic day. After more than 4 decades, the body of Francisco Franco will be removed this morning from the Valley of the Fallen and transferred to a cemetery in Madrid. Franco's exhuming, bringing an end to a symbol of the Spanish dictator. Interesting. A milestone in the country's democratic process, which will separate dictators from his victims and make it harder for far-right supporters to honor him. Oh, God. That's... Okay, whatever. Oh, God. 44 years after his death, after a year-long judicial battle, Franco's leading the giant mausoleum that he built ahead of a repeat national election. The dictator's exhumation has also turned into a heated political dispute. I always have a hard time when they do this. I don't care if it's bad history or good history. You don't change anything by moving somebody, but Franco is not a good deal. The Valley of the Fallen houses more than 30,000 dead from both sides of the 1936 to 1939 Spanish Civil War, in which Franco's nationalist forces defeated the Republican government. It was partly built by political prisoners whom Franco's regime subjected to forced labor. So he's a terrible human being. But you know what? Hey, if that's what the people of Spain decide, that's what the people of Spain decide. It is what it is. All right, moving on. Let's go to number 1 trending on Twitter today. Let's get through the Twitter trends. Mama vote. I know what this is. I'm going to click it and then I'm going to click back because it is has something to do with K-pop and BTS. Goodbye, K-pop. Number 2, Thursday thoughts as opposed to Thursday thoughts. Who's at the top today? Miss Pinky Thoughts. Good morning. Just because I don't care doesn't mean I don't understand. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. All right. Another Thursday thought. Embrace your uniqueness. Your difference makes you a special, interesting person. Base your self-confidence on your inner beauty. Lastly, be authentic. Let others see the real you instead of the person you think they want to see. That's a Thursday thought for ugly people. No, shit. That was terrible. I shouldn't have said that. Yeah, we spend a lot of time embracing our uniqueness, and maybe there's a point where it gets old. But this is an anti-bullying tweet, so I get it. I mean, embrace your uniqueness. Your difference makes you special. No, it just makes you, okay? It makes you unique, and everyone has their qualities that they should be proud of, or that are of value to others. So you know what? Don't ever think you're special though, because when you think you're special, you think people owe you shit. Okay, just be you, be an authentic person, and that's my own personal Thursday thought. Oh, apparently, actually, this means gold will be worthless. Okay, this asteroid has so much gold, iron, and nickel that if it were brought to Earth, it will make everyone a billionaire. It is worth 10 quintillion. Well, guess what? I think the point that made here is that actually this means that gold would be worthless by then. Okay. All right, moving on. Joe Girardi apparently is going to sign a deal with the Philadelphia Phillies to be the new manager, the former Yankees manager. Good for him. 13 years of Taylor Swift is trending 14. I don't want to click this, but God forbid I am. 13 years ago today, 16-year-old Taylor released her debut album, self-titled I'm Emotional, with 13 years of Taylor Swift. Yes, that's the day that I wish I would have fell into a sinkhole, but there you go. Oh, I am a funny motherfucker. Must be the bourbon in my coffee today. I have a cough. I had to, it's early. What else is trending today? Number 5, Jace Tingler reports Ranger coach Jace Tingler hired as San Diego Padres something. Let's see. Dallas Morning News. Okay. Rangers coach Jace Tingler hired as San Diego Padres manager. Oh, he's getting to run the show in San Diego. Well, good for him. I'm not a huge baseball person, although I enjoy the World Series comes around because, it's kind of like they play too many games. Anyway, Pit Dark. So if you're one of those people who do they do story pitches on Thursdays, and this is one of them. And I actually need some special music for this though. So give me 1 second here. I got to find some special music for Pitch Dark because it's well, you'll understand when I get there. Here we go. Hang on a second. Give me 1 second here. Let's go. Let's go with horror. Horror, not horror, but horror. All right, we'll start with this one. A little loud there. Let's turn it down. All right, now let's get into the pitch dark hashtag here, because this is these are people who are pitching stories that are dark, have a dark, ominous trend to them. Okay, and in fact, I think it tells you right at the top. Okay, so here's one: Haunting of Hill House times Wilder Girls, a remote boarding school, a hungry black fog, and the restricted woods that separates 97 survivors from a way out. That's too loud, isn't it? Or is that just me? Oh, I just have it up too loud. They were told that there are monsters in the woods, but what if it's their own troubled memories feeding them? See, there you go. All right, here's one. Stranger Things in Small Spaces. 12-year-old Rachel must journey through an abandoned amusement park into a desolate and mysterious world called The Echo to find her MIA brother before the entrance is destroyed and he's trapped forever. Yeah, see? Okay, that's not bad. Let's try this one. Now, it seems like these all seem to be... Oh, what the hell happened there? That's not what I wanted to do. All right, let's try this one. I'm going to skip down here. Oh, these seem to be where they're pitching things and they're combining them. All right, let's try... here we go. When her last chance foster home is plagued by strange animal attacks and disappearances, bitter 14-year-old Petra must solve the mystery. Her secret powers might just hold the key, or they might be exactly what the hungry voices in the dark woods want. Oh, it is? Oh, the dramatic music is drowning me out. Okay. Oh, now I can't even hear it. Hang on. I'm sorry about that. I have that up a little loud, don't I? All right. I'll do one more and then we're going to move on. By the way, I do have another channel called Creepy Dog Productions where I do like creepypasta voiceovers. Just started doing that. It's kind of fun. If you're into that kind of stuff, you can click over there. It's in the description down below. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Grace is in trouble. Bodies of supernatural creatures are piling up, so she's being blamed for all of them. The Fae might be her only hope of surviving. A multi-state road trip with a pixie riding shotgun? What could possibly go wrong? Supernatural times 9th house. Okay. All right. Enough of that. All right. Oh, I got another little message here. Let's see. Oh my God. Oh, Piccolo. I'm going to save that one tomorrow. I'm going to save that one for tomorrow. That'll be the top of the hour. Here's the headline. Over 175 musicians pledged to boycott Amazon over ICE contract. Whatever. You think Amazon gives a fuck? Do you think that boycott will make a dent in Amazon's profits? Yeah, they also, Amazon, is it Amazon? No, Google. Google is one of the intelligence community's largest contractors. Did you know that? Unbelievable. All right, let's get back into the trend. Here, let me turn this music off first. Let me turn this off. Okay. Back to Twitter trends. Hang on. Now I messed up everything here. There. And click there. Because we got to get this done and get out of here. All right. So Pit Dark. That was there. 47 Republicans is trending. Probably because of this little thing yesterday. 13 Republicans stormed the impeachment inquiry, claiming that it was secretive and a coup, only to find out that 47 Republicans were already there. Yeah, we know that 47 Republicans are already there. Do you all realize that the rules of those committees, you know what? If you know what they were protesting, then you would understand why there was a protest. Morons. Okay. Now, do I agree with them breaching a Scif? Not necessarily, but is it the worst thing they could have done? Probably not. So anyway, so 40. That's trending. Good for them. Okay. Will Pons. I think that has something to do with what is that? What? Something about baseball. I don't have time to figure it out. Someone else can figure that out. John Bonner is trending. Really, the former congressman. Andrew Napolitano. As frustrating as it may be to have these hearings going on behind closed doors, they are consistent with the rules. When were the rules written last? In January 2015. And who signed them? John Bonner. Oh, who enacted them? A Republican majority. Well, I guess we'll see. Fox News Judge Knapp confirms Adam Schiff is following the rules. Well, I don't really. Hey, hold on, wait a minute. Hold on. Now that's funny. That's funny because, okay, look at the date that they put up there for these rules. January 2015. Does anyone recall an impeachment inquiry in January of 2015? I don't recall them trying to. I don't remember any impeachment inquiry related to Barack Obama. I don't think that ever happened. So how can you confirm that Schiff is following the rules of an impeachment inquiry that in 2015 that didn't happen? That's fascinating. That is fascinating. Okay. We'll find out because there's a bill in the Senate that excoriates the House for whatever the rules. PB pitch is another thing. I think they're doing children's stories on the PB pitch. They do that on Thursdays. I don't know. Colorado border wall. Yeah, Trump said something stupid yesterday. Something stupid. Fuck it. Everyone gets walls. Colorado border. Because Trump wrote something. He was putting something about the New Mexico border wall. And then he said something about a Colorado border wall, which, as you well know, or if you don't know geography, Colorado does not have a border with Mexico. So who knows what the fuck Trump was thinking there. Like I said, he's not always everything he puts out there doesn't make sense. I fully in compliance with that thought. So, there won't be a Colorado border law, but New Mexico, yeah, there's going to be something there. Who understands the border wall? Maybe because it borders New Mexico and Trump forgot that New Mexico was part of the United States. I don't know. I'm not saying that he's brilliant about everything. It's kind of funny though that's trending. Let's move on. Oh, Mama still out there. We'll skip that. That's K-pop. We made it. What's We Made It? We made it on the iTunes charts right now. Okay, what's that? Whatever. For all of the songs released and unreleased from Louis Tomlinson's album, aka Walls Are Gender Neutral, we made it. What? Okay, this is something to do with popular music. I'm going to just skip it because I don't, I'm too old for that shit, right? Good tea. Modern Warfare is trending. Oh, is there a new Call of Duty out there? No. Infinity Ward releases Ghost and Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare. Ladies, if you're the type of girlfriend who moans about being a FIFA widow every time that comes out, I can assure you that you've not seen anything like what's going to happen to your relationship when Modern Warfare drops. Relationships will be tested for the rest of 2019. Oh, apparently that's a game that all the brothers are going to be like, oh yeah. And then women, okay. Maybe I'm sure there's some women who will like it too. So anyway, all right, we're moving on. And finally, finishing up with Thursday morning, we'll skip that. Kincaid fire. Yeah, oh man. the fire in Sonoma County is raging, and lots of spot fires in Gyersville Vineyards from Kincaid Fire walked up to this blaze of wooden equipment. Yeah, the fires, they're having a lot of problems out there, California. Wow, look at this. This is exactly why we have technology for Sky 7. We measured a large portion of the fire, and it spans about 9 miles. You can see exactly where River Rock Casino is. Okay, so they're showing some footage of the fire out there. So that's unfortunate for the people out in California. If you're in California, please be safe anywhere near that area. Products that, let's see, 2 last things. One is products that Trump can sell, and the other one is Lee Know is cute. Lee Now. What? Lee K Now is cute. I don't know what the hell that says, but that has to do with K-pop. So guess what? I'm not even going to click it, but there's a hashtag, products Trump can sell. Now, generally hashtags like this is funny, and usually when there's a hashtag like this, I say how many tweets do I have to read before someone's trashing Trump? But this is a trash Trump hashtag, so I don't even have to say that. All right, let's take a look. Okay, here we go. The top one is products Trump can sell. Anything that has to be telemarketed. He'd get a lot of hang-ups. I think you have some hang-ups, Minnie T. That doesn't even make sense. It's products Trump can sell, not can't sell, you moron. Read the hashtag. Get your hashtag etiquette in line, woman. Next, products Trump can sell. Snake oil. See, now that is funny. That is funny if you're one of those people who don't like Trump, or even some people who like Trump would find that humorous, even though I don't know if they actually sell snake oil. Anyway, but there you go. That's clever. Oh, products Trump can sell. Swamp water. That, you know what? If you can sell swamp water, you're a pretty good salesman. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Products Trump can sell. Sharpies. Awesome for drawing on maps. Would that not be hilarious? If Sharpie had a commercial and had President Trump as an endorser, I think that would be fucking hilarious. But there you go. Products Trump can sell. Mob memberships. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Okay. Not funny, but it's, well, I don't know. Whistles for people to blow. Is that like a rape whistle thing or something? I don't know. Products Trump sell unaccompanied migrant children. I get it. You're a funny motherfucker. Brandon. Products Trump could sell. America's integrity? Yeah, I don't know. Oh, this is good. Which Trump? Which Trump? Okay. Ugly hair pieces for Ben. Oh, there we go. There we go. I think he meant Colorado River. It probably, the Colorado River on the border there. Yeah. So anyway. Self-folding umbrellas. Hey, that's a good one too. All right. So anyway, those are products Trump can sell. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to go. I am so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song. Seems we just get started, and before you know it, comes the time we have to say so long. Thank you for being here today. The Morning Night Live is here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. Oh, I didn't do any FTGs. I didn't do an FTG. I'll be damned. What the hell? Well, here you go. FTG to Adam Schiff. FTG, Adam Schiff. Oh, I didn't even... Here. Get your FTGs in, people. Who else we talk about? Those 2 congressmen that were talking to Zuckerberg and Zuckerberg. Here, there's one for all 3 of them. FTG, FTG, FTG for the congressman and the 2 congress people and Zuckerberg. Because fuck Zuckerberg too. Fuck that guy. Who else do we talk about today that we can give an FTG to? I don't know. Just throw out an FTG and we'll be fine because I actually got to go. So anyway, we're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. We'll be here tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow, Dog Park Friday. I don't have a guest tomorrow, but I may by the time I get here tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll do another call-in show, and I'll do it early, and we'll skip kind of all the other stuff, and we'll just talk about the things that you want to talk about, unless I have a guest. If I had a guest that I invited, but I haven't gotten a response yet. If we have that guest, then we'll talk with the guest. If not, we're going to talk with you tomorrow. So be ready for that. And what else? If you haven't done so already, hit the like button on the way out, or Duck Dog, I'm sure you've already hit the dislike button. That's great. And also, Duck Dog, thank you for the donation today through the Streamlabs link. Remember, that link is in the description down below. Whether you're watching during a live show or during a rebroadcast on YouTube, you can always, if you're inclined to make donations to the show, that's great. I'm gonna use the money now. I got to buy some new equipment. I'm going to buy new sound equipment because I want to be able to have more control over how this comes through to you. And so I need a mixing board and a different microphone to do that. So that's my next way to improve the show. And then, look for some videos coming out. I've actually got some new videos that I'm finally getting made. I keep saying it, but I really am. I'll get one of them finished this weekend. So look forward to that. So that's it for today. I'm so glad you all were here. My name is P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Goodbye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.
Like on the road, you have it, so you could just while I'm driving, you're doing the car.